Hello, this is Alex with Grow How. Right in front of you, we've got that fig tree that I planted last week, and I promised you a little bit more about it. It was in a pot, it was in the nursery. Um, it'd been there too long, it got sent home with me, and I didn't think it was going to survive this year. In fact, I thought it was dead. I went out there, I was looking at it, no new buds, no new buds. This top stuff is, obviously dead and broken. Now it's broken. I thought, okay, well, that was a nice try. Fig didn't survive the winter. Well, it did survive the winter. And if you watch the planting video, you will note that this has actually grown since we planted it. That was only, a week ago maybe? Certainly less than 2 weeks. Now, I've taken this out. These sticks really are more for the grower and for transportation. They don't do much at home. I guess I could train this to be straight. I don't care, it's a fig tree. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cut all that dead off. Now, if you look closely, you'll see there's still some green there, but that green is in the process of dying back. Okay, so there's a lot of new growth on this. This is actually more than doubled in its amount of greenery. Now, you see right down here, this comes about right where the graft is. That graft has got me concerned because I live in Utah. And I'm right next to the neighbor's driveway. And this whole top on a bad season could just die back. It could just keel over, die back, and say, hey, I'm done. The roots, which are more protected, are more likely to survive. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but for right now, I'm going to take that twig off. I could probably even root this if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to throw it over there. Maybe it'll root itself. That'd be fun. But that brings me to the next issue that I wanted to talk about. Somebody asked me, why did I plant this so close to the house? I would never plant a tree that close to the house. Fair enough. A full-size tree, I wouldn't plant next to the house typically. Now, in Utah, I've never seen these things get taller than maybe 6 feet, maybe 7 feet. So it's going to act more like a shrub in my climate. The second thing is that house is offering protection. Because figs are really borderline in my part of Utah. I'm in a little place called American Fork, not far out of Provo, a little bit closer to Provo than Salt Lake, but somewhere in between. And we're just not quite warm enough that this is going to have a secure future. There's 2 ways to handle that. One is you plant it on the south side of the house, close to the house, so you can get that heat sink. The heat that gets absorbed by the house during the winter, it'll release it at night, and in theory it'll keep this warm. The second theory is that what damages these plants is not so much that it got cold, but that it got too much temperature variation and started trying to grow early. Now, again, with this fig, I would say that wouldn't be true, but it was in a pot, in a pile of mulch through the winter, and before that, the previous winter, we overwintered it in the nursery, in a pot, on the ground, no protection. So I don't know if that theory really applies to figs. I know that when I went to BYU, they had this planted on the north side of their greenhouse. It was the same variety, by the way, and that was just the way they did it, and that's the way they felt it would be best. I've seen these planted on the south side just fine. I've even seen them planted far enough away that you wouldn't get a heat sink effect from a wall on an east side, actually. And they do okay, and every year they get, most every year they get figs and they enjoy it, and that's great. I'm going to find out. I will know after a couple of years what this is going to do, and then I'll know how to grow a fig best where I'm at, and hopefully I'll get some figs off of this. I'm really am hoping for that. I don't like a lot of the exotic, hard to grow plants because they're exotic and they're hard to grow, and I'm way too lazy for that, and I don't want to spend the time and the money to make those things happen the way some people are willing to. So I just plant what I have. Um, in this case, I had a fig. I just have wanted to grow a fig for a long time, and that's why it's so close to the house. If it ends up being too close, I will not have a problem killing it. But figs are also generally pretty easy to start from from cutting, so I can probably easily either transplant a bit of it from the root or start it from cutting, no problems. If you have any questions, well, that's what the questions comment section is for. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to follow the progress of this fig, please subscribe. You're not going to get constant notifications in your email or anything. You're just going to get more suggestions of my videos in the usual place where Facebook suggests stuff. So I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much, and let's keep an eye on this fig. Manana.